Hello students, welcome to this online lecture series, English Literature, BA Part 3rd, MGSU. Today we are going to discuss a poem, Our Casuarina Tree by Toru Dutt. Before we begin this poem, I would like to give you a brief introduction of the poet. Charulata Dutt is also known as Toru Dutt. She is also considered as the first Indian poetess who wrote not only in English but also in French language. And what makes her special is that when she was writing, it was the time when Indian English writing was subjected to harsh criticism by English literators. But at such conjuncture, her writing was not only reviewed but republished. Her all the poems are published in Ancient Ballads and Legends of Hindustan. It is a poetry collection, but it is a posthumous publication. It was published after her death as she died at a very tender age of 21 years old. So let's start the poem. See the title, Our Casuarina Tree. We can take the indication that this poem can be about a tree whose name is Casuarina and our. It is not related only to poet, that means our, someone that is more with whom she is associating this tree. So let's see about whom this poem, this in this poem, our is denoted and what she describes about the tree. I'm reading it for you. The poem is on the screen. Like a huge python, winding round and round the rugged trunk, indented, deep with scars, up to its very summit, near the stars, a creeper climbs. I have read it up to here because the complete sense completes up to here. A creeper climbs, so like a huge python. Now see this poem from here. Actually, she is talking about a creeper which is rounding around the tree. So a creeper is climbing. How it is climbing? वो कैसे चढ़ रही है पूरे पेड़ के तने के ऊपर चारों ओर लिपट कर. So जो क्रीपर है इट इज़ क्लाइंबिंग अप टू द ट्री एंड इट इज़ अप क्लाइंबिंग कहाँ तक, अब ये नीचे से आप देखिए इसे. अ क्रीपर क्लाइम्स अप टू इट्स वेरी समिट नियर द स्टार्स. सो इट इज़ गोइंग अप टू द टॉप ऑफ द समिट मीन्स वेरी टॉप मोस्ट. सो इट इज़ गोइंग द क्रीपर जो है वो कहाँ तक फैली हुई है. इट इज़ अप टू द वेरी टॉप ऑफ द tree near the stars is giving an indication that it is very top of the tree and the tree is very tall, very high. So that also it is conveying. And जो creeper है, when it is going upwards through the trunk of the tree, it has given this tree many scars, many dents, because as it is climbing. So the trunk of the tree is rugged. It's not smooth. It's rough, and the creeper has given its many dents, indented, and it has many deep scars too. Now it is winding round and round like a huge python. अब ये किस तरह की इमेज टोरू दत्त यहाँ पे देना चाह रही हैं, या उन्हें किस तरह की क्रीपर लग रही है चारों ओर पेड़ के लिपटी हुई. लाइक अ ह्यूज पाइथन, लाइक अ बिग पाइथन. पाइथन इज अ टाइप ऑफ स्नेक and she is comparing this creeper with a python. So here there is a comparison, and here at this point I would like to clear you that this is a stylistic device, but now I'm not going to discuss this with you, these stylistic devices. Whatever stylistic devices are used in the poem, I will discuss it in the third video. I have divided this poem into 3 videos. In the first 2 portions we will discuss about the poem, and in the third part exclusively we will focus on the stylistic devices. So let's proceed. So I hope that I have made it clear to you what Toru Dutt is saying, what image Toru Dutt is presenting before us of casuarina tree. Again I am reading. Like a huge python winding round and round the rugged trunk, indented, deep with scars, up to its very summit, near the stars, a creeper climbs, in whose embraces bound no other tree could live. Now tree is in the embrace, tree is enfolded by the creeper. It's in her it's in creeper's embrace. Tree is in creeper's embrace, and it's so tight, it's strangling. It can strangle any tree. No other tree could live, means कोई भी अदर और ट्री होता तो शायद वो जिंदा नहीं रह पाता, और it can give up. But the cashew nut tree is so strong enough to maintain or to manage the strangle or tight embrace of the creeper, that it is surviving, it is living, and it becomes successful in holding its head high despite the tight embrace of the creeper. So, in whose embrace is bound, no other tree could live, but the cashew nut tree is strong enough and to survive. So, यहाँ पे एक there are two connotations here. One is very simple, which I have told you, that a tree is strong enough to stand up despite the tight embrace of the creeper. Second one is here, Torudat is indicating he's maybe we can say there's an analogy. यहाँ पे एक analogy है, similarity है. Creeper is just like a fatal disease from which Torudat and her brother and sister were suffering, that was tuberculosis, and despite the fatal disease they were striving to live. So no other tree could live. And the point when she composed this poem, her both brother and sister passed away, they were no more. And at such time she was writing this poem, and she was struggling with the disease tuberculosis. So here, in whose embrace bound, no other tree could live. So there are two connotations which we can derive from as per the background or conditions. So let's move to the next slide. But gallantly the giant wears the scarf, and flowers are hung in crimson clusters all the boughs among, whereon all day are gathered bird and bee. From the starting you see, but gallantly means bravely, very courageously. The giant यहाँ पे आया है tree के लिए. The giant बहुत बड़ा विशाल. The giant tree has embraced this creeper despite its tight enfoldment. It is wearing, it is taking it upon us, like upon himself. ट्री के लिए बोल रही हूँ मैं. Courageously it has taken this creeper. It is wearing this as a scarf, as its very ornament, as its very attire. Scarf has taken its scarf. So this is the image which Toru has presented before us. What she images, what she imagines. And flowers are hung, and this cashew nut tree has flowers, and which are crimson, means red in colors. It has they are reddish in color, and they are in clusters, group में है. So flowers are hung. There are so many flowers on this tree, and they are in red color, and in group, in bunches, they are uh, on this tree, on boughs, among boughs जो डालियां हैं इसकी, on that it is hanging. All the flowers are there, and it is very beautiful scene, wherein all day are gathered bird and bee. Now the tree is not only surviving, not only in that with that creeper, it is also giving life to others. It is a source of life. Now who are living on this tree all day, there are assembling so many birds and bees, and this tree is full of life. That means it is a source of vitality and energy. Now next, and oft at nights the garden overflows with one sweet song that seems to have no clause. So here, Toru, that as it was the tree was in her courtyard at her home, and she was sensitive enough to record every minute details. So as at the night time also, she used to listen the sweet song which ordinarily ignored, but she recorded, and she noticed it, that often at night time the garden where this cashew nut tree was situated, it was overflowed with the sweet songs of so many insects, bees, and birds. And mm, mm, it was a musical night. And oft at nights, the garden overflows with one sweet song that seems to have no clause. And it seemed that this music is eternal. It is going to have no clause. It's unending. And sung darkling, it was sung by darkling. I told you that bird bees, but bird, not birds, here she has mentioned it, that it was sung by darkling. Darkling are the insects which we can which live in darkness, and that's why they are called darkling. So the dark it was this song was sung by darkling from our tree. And the tree, it seemed that a tree is singing a song, because insects were invisible, they were in darkness, and tree was the source of music. So that's when that seems, while man repose at night time, man is at rest, and at that time night becomes musical due to these startlings. And it seemed that the music was coming from the tree, and our tree is singing the song. When first my casement is wide open, thrown at dawn, my eyes delighted on it rest. Now, one of her experiences which she daily used to have, that was that whenever she woke up, she's reminiscing her old past days, and she's in reflective mood. She's saying that when the early in the morning, I used to open my casement window wide open. When I used to open it at dawn, means early in the morning, I open it. I just, that there was a view of tree. My eyes just rest on this delightful scene of the tree, which is full of life, vitality, and energy. It is full of flowers and birds and bees, music, and images are, the tree image is very delightful. So here just she is saying that when first my casement is wide open thrown at dawn early in the morning, my eyes delighted on it rest. I feel very soothing and very good when I used to watch the tree early in the morning at my first sight. So sometimes, and most in winter, on its crest a grey baboon sits statue like a lawn. Now she is sharing her one more scene which she used to experience or see, that sometimes, mostly in winter, on its crest, means on the top, on the topmost boughs, we can say, bough, dali of the tree, on its crest, I used to see a grey color baboon. Baboon is a type of monkey, old monkey, and I used to see that a baboon was sitting. Baboon used to sit like a statue, like he was mostly she's saying that he used to sit alone like a statue. And it seems that he was watching the sunrise while on lower boughs. He was on the crest, and baboon was on the crest, and on the lower boughs there was, which scene she used to have, she used to see that puny little, his puny, his किसके, baboon के, monkey के little offspring, younger ones, baboon के children, baboon के younger ones leap about and play. And he was sitting like a statue, and younger ones have so much energy that they were on the lower boughs, and they used to leap, jumping and playing, and full of activity. And far and near kokilas hail the day, and along with this I used to listen the song of cuckoo. Kokilas, cuckoo, it is a bird, and very sweet voice, it has very sweet voice. And far and near I used to listen, and the song of this bird hail, that it seemed that she is welcoming the day with her sweet voice. And to their pastures went our sleepy cows. And one more scenery around the tree she used to experience was that early in the morning she used to see the tree that was very beautiful with the creeper, flowers, baboon, birds, bees, and their puny offsprings, along with that nearby there were pastures, चारागाह, and वहाँ पे उसके पास ही cows, tree के पास ही she used to see the cows were moving when they were sleepy. Now cows were sleepy. That means they are not still, they are not fully awakened, but they had to move for the nourishment for their food. They had to feed themselves, and that's why they were moving to the pastures, but they are still lethargic, and to their pastures went our sleepy cows. So this scene also she used to have, that to the pastures cows were going and they were sleepy, they're lethargic, they were not so fully awakened. So you can see the keen eye of the Torodath, that she could see the lethargy in the cow's eyes. And in the shadow on the broad tank cast by that whole tree, by that whole means old, that whole tree, near the whole tree there was a broad tank, and on the broad tank there was a shadow of the tree and tank, water pond we can say, उसमें क्या है? And in the shadow, let me read it fully. So beautiful and vast, and the tank was beautiful and very big in size, and it was a sightseeing. The water lilies spring like snow and mist, and in that tank there were water lilies, and they were of white color, and there on the tank, over the tank there was a shadow of the casuarina tree, and due to that shadow the flowers in the tank, uh, the scene of the flowers in the tank seemed like a snow, like there was the collected snow. The water lilies were looking like a snow. So it was a beautiful imagery which Torudat has presented here, and I should read it again, I think. And in the shadow on the broad tank cast by that whole tree, so beautiful and vast, the water lilies spring like snow and mast. So this is a scene which she has created, or which she has described about the casino tree or in its vicinity. So I'm wrapping up here, and the next poem half which is left, we are going to discuss it in the next lecture. And in the third, I have told you, we'll discuss stylistic devices. Looking forward to see you in the next lecture. Thank you for your listening.